right, this is Alan with GameLark Remixes, and I'm here with Eric, aka ProjectGenesis. Why don't you go and say hello?
What's up, everyone? Hello.
So, let's start out with your rock poses, which are very important for your videos. Tell me, how did you come up with the rock face and the multiple headbanging poses?
Basically, just when I play music, I've always loved rocking out. Like, even when I played live, that's part of the draw for people. I think they'd love to see me just going all over the stage, which actually tone them down a bit for these videos since I don't have as much room to rock out, but it's enough where I look crazy enough, I guess.
So, have you played in other bands before? Like, rock bands and stuff?
Yeah, I was in a band, I think, it was actually right before I started doing this, like, more often. It was a band with some friends, and that was before I even wrote my own music and realized how good I had gotten, because I never really recorded myself before, and I always thought I was still, like, just average. I still basically kind of am, but,
I wouldn't say that, but...
Well, thanks. Yeah, once I wrote, like, my first song with the first recording program I got, and then I realized that my band, other than, like, the drummer, would not be able to play what I just wrote, so I just left, which was kind of tough to do because I was friends with all of them. But
band drama, it happens.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming from your t-shirts, which there's something else I wanted to comment and say you have good taste in t-shirts, that you're into like hardcore, post-hardcore rock music.
Yep.
Did you get into that stuff before you got into gaming, or was it around the same time, or have you always just been a fan of music and then realized that you could do video game covers as well?
I'd say the gaming came first. I mean, like, actually, like, that's kind of my music before I listened to, like, any real other music.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I just, like, some of the first things I remember doing was, like, humming Nintendo tunes. And actually to the point where my little brother called Nintendo mm-mm.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I always liked video game music, probably because it was like the first thing I heard, and then my parents were always good at getting me into some classic stuff. And then once I didn't really know that much about music until about like my high school era. Then I started finally. I had luckily enough to have an older neighbor get me into punk rock, and then like that kind of opened the door. And then one guy I wasn't really into screaming yet, and one guy showed me the band Boy Sets Fire, and like yeah, you probably know.
Yeah.
After the Eulogy album, how diverse that is. Like I listened to the songs that were more melodic first, and that kind of eased me into the screaming, and now I can pretty much listen to everything.
What are some of your favorite bands?
Lately, a lot of the shirts I wear, obviously, like Defeater, I've been really like they seem like every album just incredible. That drummer is insane. That's actually one of my secrets of how I write some of my drum riffs. I'll base it off some of their stuff.
Oh,
good.
Very cool. And
yeah, my all-time favorite band still is The Killing Tree. Have you ever heard of them?
Actually, I don't think I have.
It was Tim from Rise Against, the singer, and the second guitarist they ever had. They were doing this band at the same time.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like older Rise Against, but way heavier in a hardcore format, and they're definitely check them out. They're awesome.
That sounds cool. So I'm guessing, was guitar your first instrument then? That's the first one you started playing?
Actually no. That was the first one I properly started playing. I always used to mess around with the pianos, and actually when I was 5, I was taking accordion lessons. Unfortunately, I didn't stick with that. I was too much of a not paying attention kid when I was really little. Mm-hmm. Really focus on it much. I kind of wish I did now. That'd be awesome to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my first piano when I was 4th grade, I think. And I would always just kind of mess around, and then that was actually when I started like figuring out like movie themes and video game themes, like at least with one hand.
Yeah, I figured out the theme to Titanic, and then my mom made me start taking piano lessons. So
nice.
Yeah. So obviously you've had a love for music, both video game and otherwise. When did you kind of just start making video game remixes and then realize there was a community, or did you see the community and then become inspired?
A little bit of both, actually. Like we were talking about earlier, I started out on Myspace, and I was originally just doing it just for fun and for all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like I started getting actually a decent following on there, and there was not really a community like there is on YouTube yet, and I don't think even most of these guys had started yet. And there's a lot of guys that kind of like tried bringing everyone together, and then once MySpace started getting kind of out of date, I was like, oh yeah, I should just put stuff on YouTube. And like my first like 50 or whatever videos are actually just all like from way earlier. I just told them up all at once, and then yeah, I found like Hyde, the guy you interviewed, and one other guy, RexBanterProject, and then they were kind of like the first guys I ever talked to, and then I slowly started finding other people, and they found me, and next thing I know, I discovered this huge community, and they kind of brought me in. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome community.
Yeah.
Speaking of the community, you've done some collaborations, and what are some of your favorite parts of collaborating? I know that it's more work in the sense that you're coordinating with someone else, and I'm guessing that sometimes, you might have different styles, so getting those to work might be, not a challenge, but a little bit trickier. What do you think is the best thing you get out of collaborating?
Just being able to work with other people, and like, obviously you become friends after doing that, working on a piece for so long, you talk and everything, and like, the two that I collaborated with the most, 94 Stones and Zero DL. I think I collaborated with him 3 times now, and then 94 Stones 2 times. And like we're always talking to each other. We kind of like get how each of our styles work out, and we always just mix and match really good now. So it's always fun to keep working with each other.
Awesome.
I'm sure we will eventually again.
One of the other things I noticed is that you do a couple contests, right? One was Family Jewels 7X, and one was Swiggles 1987. And then there was a Beards, Beards and
Riffs, I think.
Riffs and Beards too?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. You just like entering contests? Do you think it pushes yourself as a musician, or?
A little bit of both. I know actually Swiggles contest was almost as hard as the Family Jewels one on because you're supposed to like do one of his arrangements, and then you could like add your own solo when he has a solo, or try to do his own. And I did like everything I could to like do exactly what his video was doing. So like when it would pan to the right and everything, so like recording wise, that was kind of nuts.
Oh man, that's
because I picked one where it was him and Jay Parecki, so like they kept switching back and forth. Each one was one speaker, so I was doing that by myself, and at times it would get confusing because it's just me doing that. But and then the Family Jewels one, like it probably would have been easier if my job wasn't killing me around that time. Like I had insane overtime, and I was still fairly new trying to figure it out, so I wasn't as quick. So like a lot of days where I only have like maybe 3 hours to work on it, and like 1 full day to work on, I remember. So I was amazed that I got that out as quick as I did.
Awesome. Do you want to talk about some of your favorite game series? You seem to focus on retro games, but you also do some more modern stuff as well.
Right.
Do you basically pick games that you just like to, like, is there any process in the selection, or is it just whatever you played and remember the soundtrack to, or?
A little bit of both. It's kind of just whatever song. I have like a huge playlist on YouTube where it's all covers that I will most likely do, and every once in a while I'll just go listening to a bunch of my favorite ones, and then every once in a while I'll just get an idea off the top of my head to arrange one differently, or I can make this one this way and whatever, and that's kind of how it happens. And then usually too, my favorite soundtracks I'll usually, which surprisingly I haven't really covered from at least 3, like the Final Fantasy series, Kingdom Hearts series. I love those soundtracks, and I was at a time doing a lot of them, but not as much as I should be, I feel.
All right. So if you could boil down ProjectGenesis to a couple of like words or ideas, obviously we have t-shirts and rock poses. Those are very important. But what would you say makes your channel and sound unique?
when it comes to at least the heavier music, which I also want to do other genres more too, which was my original plan, but once I was able to write drums, I kind of got carried away with the punk and hardcore riffs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd say my style of heavy music, because it seems like everyone else is all into metal, and most of my stuff, it's more metal influence bands than metal itself. So I think that helps me stand out and give me my own unique style, and then my rhythm tones apparently everyone loves, so I guess that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips or advice you can give for people that are getting started, or they've been doing it for a while and they're just trying to find new things to do? Anything that you found helped you as a musician or helped your channel?
Just keep practicing every day, and if you see any contests, give them a shot, because you'll get a lot of fans out of it, if anything, and it's cool to push yourself every once in a while. So
awesome. Are you playing what games are you playing at the moment?
I've been trying to work on. I just got a Wii U around Thanksgiving, and yeah, lately I feel like my free time I'm covering video games more than playing them. So I went on like a month's drought and not playing anything, but Hyrule Warriors I've been playing a lot.
Oh, I've heard that was pretty good, yeah.
It's awesome.
I love my Wii U. I think out of the three, like Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U, I think I play that one the most, and Nintendo, hand down, has the best local multiplayer. And I feel like that's something that the other two consoles really don't seem to touch very much, so...
Yeah. Everything, the whole online... Well, I just can't get into it lately. Most of it's all first-person shooters, which I can't stand those games. I think after Halo 2, they just started all being the same to me, and I'm not that great at them either. So.
Have you played Mario Party 10 yet?
I haven't. I haven't actually played one of those in a while.
I just got it, and the Bowser mode is pretty awful for everyone that's not Bowser. So if you do play it, make sure you're Bowser.
Yeah.
Can you tell me if you're working on any covers or collaborations or projects at the moment?
There's actually a bunch of collaborations, like at least the ideas started, and I think on both sides we kind of forgot. Let's see if we can reignite those. And then there's 2 songs I'm doing a Kingdom Hearts one, and then an old PC game, King's Quest V. I'm doing a song from that, and I realized I was kind of focusing too much on this channel as opposed to my other channel, so I've been trying to, actually right before this I was working on a song from Hook.
Oh, okay. I was actually going to ask you about that. You have a second channel, right, where you don't non-VG covers.
Right. It's all originals and movie, TV themes, and just covers of band songs. Like I did a cover of Lil Wayne and made it all kind of hardcore.
Oh wow! I need to check that out then.
Actually came up pretty good.
Sweet. Well, thanks for taking the time and talking with me. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you for having me.
And I'll see you next time.
All right. Sounds good.